Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another advanced commands tutorial. My name is slicedlime, and this is going to be about the new command block systems for Minecraft 1.12 again. A few days ago, when the snapshot of the week was released, I posted a video about how to do if-then-else systems in the new chain command blocks in Minecraft 1.12. And there is even more interesting stuff going on. So here is another one, and it's going to be about loops. Now, for a setup, what we want to do is run loops the way you do in a programming language like a for or while loop in Minecraft command blocks. That's the setup. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to make a setup like this. And here's what I told you in that video. By the way, if you haven't seen it, you should go watch it to have, or at least if you don't know how what the changes are, you should go watch it. Basically what we want to do is a system like this. A loop. And we want to run this for a number of rotations, and then we want to stop. If we can't stop, then we're going to have a problem. Now, remember what I said in that video is this command block right here will remember that it has already run this tick, and so it won't run again. So if I do, say, first in here, and say last in here, and then we run this thing, you're going to see first and last, but it's not going to repeat itself. Which is good, because it would get stuck in here forever, basically. But it turns out that there is a way around this, so let's make something very simple, and we're going to make a loop. Now, let's stay in the light. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to run these in a circle, but that requires us to get around the fact that this command block knows that it has already run. Now, how do we do that simply? Well, we simply replace it. So we're going to copy this setup one block up. So let's just replicate this entire circle on a top layer here. And now what we're going to do is we're going to write all of our logic inside this top layer, and we're never going to run it. Instead, we're going to clone this layer down to this layer. So basically, this is positive x and this is positive z. So we're going to do something like this. Clone something one step away in positive x. One step up, and the same in Z. Two somewhere 3 steps away, 1 step up, and 2 steps away. And the destination for this is going to be simply 1 step in front of us. That's all we're going to do. And if I run this now, we'll see that 9 blocks have been cloned, but the say commands that I put in here, they are gone. So we cloned all of these blocks down here. But we're still not looping, so how do we do that? Well, here we're going to do a replace. So now we are looking at positive x, so we have negative z that direction. So here we're going to do another clone, and we're going to clone from the same block that we are, 1 step up again, and negative 1 in z, and then the end of that range is going to be 2 steps away in x, 1 up again, and then 1 step away in z. And the destination for this is going to be 1 step away in z only. So we're basically going to be replacing the entire bottom layer with the entire top layer again. Now, I'm not going to click this button. Because if we did this, we would spin around in this loop indefinitely. Or at least until we hit the max command chain limit, which is also introduced in the last snapshot in 17W16B, which is this one. And this is actually the entire reason that that limit exists, because otherwise we would freeze the server. It would spin around forever inside this loop. But that's almost never what we want. So what we're going to do is make this thing conditional. And this is the last block in the loop, so it's kind of natural that this is the conditional one. And here, we'll just type in our whatever the condition is that we want to satisfy for the loop to continue. So if you can see on the right-hand side, I've created an objective called value, and I have given myself a score of 0. So let's maybe do scoreboard players test at p value. So while the value is between 0 and 10, then we're going to keep going in this loop. And then just let's go here and go scoreboard players add at a value 1. So now every rotation in this loop, we're going to add 1 to value. Then we're going to test if the value is between 0 and 10, and if it is, then we're going to keep going. So now if I click this button, you'll see my value instantly went to 11, and we did a whole bunch of stuff. And this all happened within 1 tick. How do we know that? Well, we can easily find that out by just doing, say, tick in here. We're going to put this into repeating command block and always active. So now we'll have ticking going on there, and you're going to see, I'm going to have to do scoreboard players set at a value 0 again to reset our value. And then now that we click the button, you're going to see that all of that happened within one tick. So all of the texts, all of the debugs for that command just spliced itself into all of the tick output, and that basically means that all of the commands ran within that same tick. Now, is this useful? For sure it is. We have for a very long time not really been able to loop over things. For instance, any system that matches two different entities in the world using an ID score or anything would have to only pick one entity to check each tick, and now we can actually do this in the same tick. We can loop over all the available IDs and match all of them. So this is super useful. It's a very advanced technique. You don't want to get this wrong, because if you spin around in this loop, you're going to get whatever is the not game mode, game rule. Whatever is the max command chain length. And that's by default 65,536. But you can change it if you need your commands to run lots and lots of chain command blocks. You can change that. But be careful, because you are going to run 65,000 commands in each chain. And if you get stuck in a loop for 65,000 commands, lots of the time, you're probably going to use up a lot of performance. So here's a situation where we're trusting to map makers and makers of command block contraptions to be a little bit careful and manage performance. But this is, all in all, a much, much better alternative than to just add more command blocks or something. And of course, if you want to do more stuff when the chain has ended, what you can do instead is, let's say that we took a chain command block, and we want to keep them going this way, right? So what we want to do is replace this command block under here with one that's pointing this way. So it has a facing of north, and we can do that easily. All right, so we'll just, here's a scoreboard players test. So here, for instance, let's just do that. /set block, and we want 67 here instead, and then chain command block facing equals north. That's what we want, and this is what we want to happen when the loop is done, so to speak. So we'll just stick that in here. We do a set block in here, set the chain command blocks facing north, but if we are in the loop, that's going to be replaced. Right? That's going to be replaced by this whole thing again, since we're cloning it down. So that's a way of doing something for a loop and then doing something else when you're done in the same tick in a guaranteed order. So let's just say loop done here and set our value to 0 again and try this out. So we did all of the things and then we had loop done. So you're not limited to only a loop. You can do a loop and then keep going as such. So that is all for this time. I hope you found this useful. I think it will be very, very useful for many different command block contraptions myself. If you have any questions or if you have any comments about this, leave me a comment down in the comment section below, and I'll try to answer as much as I can. This has been slicedlime, and I'll see you next time. Take care.